Hi everybody, it's FIBO Group, and you are watching to the Market Watch review. The capital and commodity markets have become less organized. Russia and Ukraine have become important suppliers of industrial metals, other supplies, as well as food products. Large Asia-Pacific equity markets, including Japan, Hong Kong, and China, fell by 1% to 22%, while South Korea and Australia posted modest gains today. Stoxx 600 Europe is down more than 25% to be this week's loss of a little over 6%. Futures in the US are about 0.7% less. The foreign exchange market is outperforming the Australian and New Zealand dollars. Around 0.6% is the difference between the euro and Swedish Krona. The high for the week is $1,950. Gold is still firm. The April WTI is now recovering from yesterday's decline of 2.6%. It has risen by more than 18% in the past week. Asian Pacific market. An argument that is powerfully spreading across financial markets and political discourse is the one and only. It basically states that the sanctions against Russia's central banks and the ban on SWIFT from major Russian banks will result in other countries, including China, looking for alternatives to the dollar. It could help China's efforts, Fed Chair Powell admitted. Japan's January unemployment rate unexpectedly rose to 2.8% from 2.7% in January. The Japanese yen is still at JPY 115.40, which is very little change against the dollar. It is now within a range of JPY 115.25 to a third. The Australian dollar hit $0.7375, the highest level in 4 months. For the first time since June, it closed above its 200-day moving mean, 0.7325. Market of Europe. Germany's January trade surplus fell to €3.5 billion due to weaker imports and exports, compared with December's revised surplus of €6.6 billion. This week, the euro fell by just over 3% in Swiss franc. This week's euro loss is the biggest since mid-January 2015, when the Swiss National Bank raised its cap on the Swiss franc. The dramatic 17.2% drop in euro that week was the result. In recent days, sterling traded in the $1.3270 to $1.3440 area. The year's low is at the lower end. Market of America. The U.S. monthly employment data is frequently one of the most important points in the monthly cycle. Its importance is often due to its policy implications. This week, Fed Chair Powell testified before Congress and indicated a 25 BP increase at the mid-March FOMC meeting. Another important development is to be noted. Yesterday, the U.S. State Department joined in suggesting that Iran could reach a nuclear agreement. However, there are still many issues. Yesterday, the U.S. dollar fell below CAD 126 for a brief time, but it rebounded quickly like many others this year. Yesterday, the greenback was back at CAD 127. That's all for me. Closely monitor the news background and be prepared for all the surprises of the market.